Welcome to Papyrus Plans. I'm Tasha. Ready to create something beautiful? Let's dive in. Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going to work on my December creative journal together. And for the month of December, I thought it would be kind of cute to do a gingerbread house theme. So that's what I decided to do. And I already did my year in review. And so I just counted out the pages that I would need for December. And to make sure that I would have enough. And I left in an extra page just in case, I miscounted or something happened or I needed, an extra page. So I ended up with 2 pages for a cover page because I just recounted everything. So I have this page and the front of this page that I can use. And so that I don't waste a page, what I think I might do is, and I didn't originally plan to do this, but I'm just thinking it out, is this is what I created for the cover page. And just so I won't waste this other page, what I'm thinking about doing is maybe putting this down and maybe creating some slots at the top here. And maybe I can use some of my stickers to create like some little cards. So maybe I can write like a couple of memorable moments, maybe one for each week in December of something that might have happened or that I want to remember. I might do something like that again, just so I can use the 2 pages before, December starts. So I think I might do that because this is the last of December. And these 2, if I do that, then I can, cut a slit here, glue everything down except for maybe like 1 inch below the slit, and then glue these 2 together, and then I can start dating from this forward. That way I'm using that extra page that I have. So I think I might do that. So I created lots of stickers, and originally I was going to have this be on the page underneath, and maybe I still will do that and just trim this down and just have this show there. Or I might even just combine them on this page and then glue the second page down, because then it won't really matter. You know what I mean? I might do that. Because originally I was going to cut it and then have it on the second page. But if I create the effect of cutting it, then I think it might be better just to have it on the front page. So I might put this on the front page, even though my original idea was to cut it. But that was if I was doing one. I was going to kind of basically have this be like it was washi, and use it as a sticker strip on the first page. But yeah, I don't think I will. So these are the sticker strips that I created, and I used the pops of color to create the effect of icing. So I used the pearlescent one and white to create some of the icing, as well as some of the glitter on the peppermints. So I put some of the glitter effect here and then on here. And on these ones, I used a combination of the metallic watercolors and some of the pops of color. And then for the stickers, I used the iridescent pops of color for like the gumdrops. And on the chocolate Christmas tree pretzel sticks. So I just added a touch of a little bit of the iridescent pops of color or metallic watercolor on some of the candies and things like that. So basically I created like some candies that you would use to decorate like a gingerbread house. And then I created some additional other stickers as well. But I created like the candies for the Dutch doors. I thought that would be kind of cute. And then some cookies and other sweets to go inside as decoration. So those are the stickers that I created. So I think first things first, I think I'm gonna lay this down, and let me see if I can get my mat. Let me see what I did with my mat. Put this underneath just to make it easier for me to see the end of the page here. And I think I'm gonna align it from the bottom, and that way I can cut off the excess at the top. So actually, I'm gonna do it this way. And let me get my craft scraper. Again, I'm doing my best to line this up with this edge. Actually, maybe I'll use my finger so I don't scrape off any of the three-dimensional decoration. Just smooth out the top where I don't have any, and just use my hands for the rest, again, so I don't want to scrape it off. Okay, and I'm turning this around and cut off the part that goes past the top. Okay, not too shabby. Just clean up this edge slightly. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put this down. Again, just to make it easier to glue everything down, this top page to the second page, I think I'll go ahead and use this. So maybe I'll start from the top. And just line it up with the edge of this one. There we go. And then trim off the excess at the bottom. Or actually, maybe I should do the top and bottom so that'll kind of be equidistant, if I can. So maybe like halfway. It's going to be hard to get it perfect, but as close as I can to equidistant. Like that. That's a little bit better. So I'll have a little bit to trim off the top and the bottom. And I'm just going to press it down. Okay, so we have that there. So it kind of has the same effect, even though it's going to be on the same page as opposed to my original idea. So I think that still works. So now what I'm going to do is, let's see. Let me see if I can find some items that I can use as images on card fronts. So I want to make sure I don't use any mirrored images. Well, I could use these mugs. I might do that. Let's see. What's the size of the whitest one? Is about 2 inches by about 2 inches by 2 inches. So maybe what I'll do is I'll cut some 2 by 2 inch squares and then have like this image on the front, and then I can use these as little journaling cards to tuck inside of here. So let's see, maybe find like some Christmas paper to go coordinate with this. So let me look at my scrapbook stash real quick and see what kind of paper I have. All right, so this is my Christmas/winter paper. Kind of go through and see if I have anything that will coordinate with like a gingerbread house or food or winter. Just looking underneath all this paper I have. I could always just use some red cardstock, which I might do that. That's quite thick cardstock though, so I don't know if I want to do that, but I could. Ooh, got these little squares. That's for like a little advent calendar. Or maybe I should save that. In case I do decide to make an advent calendar, I might save that. Okay, I've got some pattern paper. So I think I'll pull that. I could use this. And then I have, let's see, I have this, White Christmas. Ooh, I think that might work. Ooh, I think this one might work. I think I'm leaning toward that one. So I think I'll put the plaid one back. Let's see what else I have. I have some embossed cardstock with Christmas theme. But that might be hard to write on, so maybe not. Okay, and I have tons of like chipboard stuff, but I think that's gonna be too thick. And let's see. Got some loose papers here, but they don't really match the theme. And here's one more pad at the bottom, so I can get this out. Let's see. This is what that advent calendar came out of. Oh, hot cocoa. Oh, that might work. Oh, and the other side is white. Let's see, is the other side of this white? That way I can write on it. Okay, this is white too. Okay. I think I might use the hot cocoa though, because I feel like that kind of goes with gingerbread and it's food oriented. So I think I'm gonna pull that. And we got another sheet of that. And another advent calendar. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay. So I've got two options to choose from, the hot cocoa or something from that other pad. So put that back and put this out of the way, and then I'll look at that other pad. And then I also I kept this out in case I decide to go plain. All right, so let's look in this one. This one has like the glittery kind of fold effect, which is why I'm kind of leaning toward this, even though I like the hot cocoa. And it's white on the back. Let's see. Ooh, like the snowflakes. I feel like that could work. Let's pull that. We got two of those. Sweaters. That's kind of cute. I think that could work too, if I decide not to use something iridescent. I'll keep my hand there. Ooh, and that is really pretty. Okay, so I think this one is a potential, and this one. Okay, so I pulled all the paper I think might work. Now let's choose which one we want to use. Okay, so if we go with like the mug theme, which I think will work because I have plenty of mugs of those. And even if I use these four, I still have a couple of other ones that I mirrored and a couple that I didn't. But these are kind of about the same size, so I feel like that might work the best. So let's see, we've got the snowflakes. And again, it's got that iridescent quality to it. So these are really pretty. I love the iridescent nature of both of these and the fact that they're both white on the other side. But if I put a sticker on here, it may not stick very well. So even though I like the idea of this, maybe I shouldn't use that. Because sometimes with regular stickers, when you have something with glitter on it, it makes it hard to adhere to it. So I probably have to glue it, and that's going to get a little messy. So maybe I don't want to use this. Okay. I think it's pretty, but maybe I shouldn't. So I think it's between these two or just something plain. This is kind of thick cardstock, so I don't know if I want to use that. And if I use this one, I don't really need the stickers because it kind of has that on there already. Or do I want to just have my own thing? Kind of like the idea of having my own thing. So, you know, I think I might go with the sweaters because it kind of goes with the fact that it's cold and we're making gingerbread houses. So let's make 2x2 inch squares, and I just need 4 of them. So let me get my trim board, my trim and score board. This is my We Are Memory Keepers board. And I'm just going to lock it in place and then flip it over. And I'm not even going to take the trouble to move all the stuff underneath it. But let's create a 2x2 inch square. So slide this over to the 2-inch marker. And I still have this little scrap left over and all of this. And this is thinner, so I think that's why I decided to go with that. I just feel like it's going to work a little bit better. Okay, so I've got my 4, and these are approximate. I kind of used the mug that was the biggest, which is this reindeer one. So hopefully this will fit pretty well. Thankfully, I don't have a huge offset, but I might cut the one off the bottom and around some of the sides, just, again, to kind of make sure, since this is the biggest one. The other ones I think I might be able to just put down. Okay. Yeah, this one's gonna just fit. So I'm glad I cut off that offset. Let me cut off a little bit more. Okay. So now let's try to get it centered as the best we can. And we can still see some of the sweater. And I might take my gyro cut and I'm just gonna cut out some of that white offset in the middle so I can see some of the sweater pattern. And let's see if I can get my tweezers and try to bend this out. It's not letting me. There we go. Okay. It almost tried to peel up the sweater. Ooh, thankfully I didn't cut through. I was worried that I cut through it, but I didn't. Ooh, that was close. Might put a little bit of glue there because it tried to pull this up slightly. Just to kind of make sure it stays. Kind of rub that down. Again, just to make sure that it stays put. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. So I'll need to cut, again, a slot. I think I'll cut the entire top part just to make sure I have enough room to slide these in. So I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Got the gingerbread man, which fits with the theme. I think I'll do the same thing. Cut around the sides. Again, I don't have a huge offset, but just so I can see more of the sweater paper underneath. Okay, now I think what I will do is round the corners of each of these. Oh, wrong thing. That's my arc punch. Let's get corner rounder. So let's round the corners. Just gonna make it look a little bit nicer and it'll mirror the journal pages as well. All right, so we got our little journaling cards made. So I think what I might do is maybe write on the back, like special memory or, let's see, what could I put? Oh, like sweet moments. That kind of goes with the theme. So let me make sure I have each one right side up. And I think what I'll do is get my larger Pigma Micron. Let's see, this is 08, and this is their, no, not 08. I want the other one. Let's see. The graphic pen. This is the graphic, Pigma Graphic 1 pen, okay? This is what the tip looks like, okay? And I'm just gonna carefully just write out sweet and then maybe moments. Sweet at the top, moments at the bottom, and then I can take one of my colored pens, maybe in red or green, and write something for, you know, week 1, 2, 3, and 4 of December that happened each week. I think that might be kind of cool to do that. So let's see. Okay, so nothing special, just writing it in cursive. First one, I kind of misjudged my spacing, but you know what? It happens. Let's see if I can add a little bit. Get my gel pen. Does this run out? This is so black, I don't think it's registering. Hold on. Let's use my whiteout instead. Just kind of getting it started. There we go. Just gonna break up some of that black in the E's. Okay. So set that aside. And make sure there's only one page. I'm gonna go in with just my regular craft knife and I'm gonna cut, let's see, how do I wanna cut this? I wanna make sure I leave enough margin at the top. So it's about halfway through the C. Which is about right there. So I'm just gonna count how many dots that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 16 dots. Just kind of give me a reference of how far down I can glue. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut around the house, maybe just this little tab at the top. Because let's see, can I fit 2 of these side by side? I mean, almost. Almost. Okay. Do I want to trim it? I don't think I will. Okay, I think I'm gonna take my chance. I think I can fit them almost side by side so I can stack 2 by 2 like this on top of each other. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll be too thick if I do it like that. I mean, if it is, I can always take 1 out or just use 2. But I'm gonna try to see if I can get 4 of them in. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll cut around right here on the side, around the chimney like this, and go all the way around until I get right there. And actually, I think I'm gonna use my gyro cut now that I'm looking at this. So I can get those curves. It'll be a little bit more accurate. And I've got to use quite a bit of pressure because I do have the pops of color on here. And I'm just trying to create an area where I can slide the cards in. Okay, so I cut this part. Gently trying to pull it away like that. Okay, so then these will slide in here. Oh yeah, I can't get 2. Okay, yeah, that's plenty roomy. Okay, I was worried it wasn't going to be enough room, but it is. So I can easily fit these 4 in. Okay, so I think that works. So we'll just keep 1 in as a guide. I wanted to come down maybe right at the top of the gingerbread house, so I just have some margin right there. And then I know where to glue. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that there. So now I can glue this to this, and I'm going to avoid this area here. But I'm keeping this here just so I know how far. And let's see if I was about right in my estimate. Yep. Okay, I said 16 dots. This is dot 16. So I was about right. Okay, so I'll probably maybe come down 1 dot just to be safe so I can put a line of glue all the way there. I like to use wet glue for this. So I can put glue around this area. Nothing here because I want to make sure the cards can slide in and out. And I'll drop down 1 dot. This is dot 16, but I don't want it to come close to that. So I'll put a dot here, maybe even dot 18. And I'm going to put a line of wet glue here just to make sure it stays. And I'll use tape runner everywhere else. So that's what I'll do. So again, you don't want to put it where you cut, but you can put it above where you cut. So I want to avoid the parts here that are like the front of the house, of the gingerbread house. And so you can go all the way down about right there, and it's still high enough for me to be able to grab it, okay? So I'm going to pull that out so it can dry, and then I'll put them back in after we finish decorating everything. Okay, and I still got all my pages, just count everything out just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. So that's the front cover, and it's got this little pocket here in the front, okay? So I think I'm gonna take my bone folder and just go into areas again where there's not much decoration and kind of smooth it down. Okay. All right, now let's work on our waterfall tabs and the Dutch doors and figure out what we want to do for that. Okay, so I have these here. Let's figure out what order. In fact, I might cut these apart so I can figure out what kind of order I want to do. Because I have, let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, how many did I create? Okay, good. I created enough. Just double checking. Let's see. Try to keep them in the groups I created them in. Some of these, because of how I cut it with the X-Acto to separate it from the sticker paper, are kind of like pre-cut, kind of anyway. But I'm just cutting it apart just so I can see what it's going to look like when I layer it. And I do have, I think, 2 extra ones. So I think these 2 go together. I'll put this one with the other one. So I think I'll put these 2 together and then keep these 2 together. And then I have these. Okay, so just kind of keep them in their groupings. All right, let's figure out, usually I do like spaces of 3. So last page I do nothing. So this would be 3, 6, 9, 12. And then nothing. Okay, because this is the back of it. And I have to leave this alone because that's where the cover is. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay. So let's do that and then see if I want to make them larger. Let's start with increments of 3. So this is the next to last page. Let me get my metal ruler, my longer one, and my craft knife. And I'm just going to line it up and then match up the top and the bottom on the line and do my best to get it straight. And make sure you apply a lot of pressure here. Okay, that's 3. Now we're going to go to 6. All right, let's see where we are. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Okay. So we got the 5 tabs there. I might go one more row here, but I'll put it down first and then see, because it's easier to change it after the fact. So maybe I'll stop once I get here and see what this one looks like, and then take away one more row if I don't feel like I can see enough of it. Okay. So let's work on the order of how we want things. See, got the peppermints. I want this one. I kind of want this one. So maybe this one like this. And then we got the cookies and the icing. So maybe this one here. And see, maybe the gumdrops. See, do I want this one or kind of like that one? I think I'll do the gumdrops there. And, or do I want to do just plain icing on this one? Yeah, I might just do plain icing on this one. And this one goes on the other side, okay? And then maybe the cookies on the front here. So cookies, peppermints, icing, and then gumdrops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what's on the last one? Okay, so that's the first 4. And then do I want to do, maybe I'll do this one. Just the regular icing. With the wavy one. Yeah, okay, I think I'll do that one there. And I think I'll hold off. That's my extra one. Okay, so that's the order. So I'm going to keep them tucked in here so I can remember how I had it. And then, let's see, let me get my journal clip. And this is getting really thick, so I think I'll do it like that. And let's start putting the tabs down. Let's see, I think I'll start from the top. I'm trying to line it with the top and with the outside edge as well. All All right, guys, so this is what the waterfall tabs are looking like from the front. Once I turn the cover page, the left and right side. Okay, so those are all the waterfall tabs. I'm loving the way that it's looking. I think that looks really great. So let's see. Let's maybe figure out what we want to do to date, and then we can add in the extra stickers. That way I'll know where everything is. So let me look through here. And I pulled both my Happy Planner Essential Dates and Numbers sticker book, as well as my Agenda 52 Numbers and Days. Again, just to kind of see what the options are. I don't know if I have anything festive left in this. I've used up quite a bit of this. Now I've got this red script. Got 2 of the red scripts. Do I have 2 of these? Got that one. I do. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 28 days. Do I have another script somewhere? See, that's the only problem with these is they don't give you 30 days of each. Well, I've got this. So as long as the last 2 days of the month aren't on a Wednesday. Let's see. Let me pull up the calendar. It is, of course. December 31st is on a Wednesday, so I can't do that. I need Tuesday and Wednesday for my last 2 days because the 1st of December starts on Monday. So that's not going to work. Okay. I mean, I can get 4 weeks worth, 28 days worth here and here with these 2. The problem is I need something for the last 2 days. And what I'm going to do, I need Tuesday and a Wednesday. And I don't think I have any more script. Well, I do, but it's in gold. I don't know if I want to do that. So I can either use maybe this black. That's a little dark, though. Or maybe this yellow. Even though it's not script, it's like italicized, and it kind of goes. Let's see, do I have, or what I might do is do red, green, the golden one, then go back to red and green. That way I can make sure I have enough. Okay, so that's an option. And let's see if we have any red or green numbers. Looks like I've used a lot of them. Yeah, I used both of the small ones there. I have some red squares. Wish they were circles, but I could use that. So I have 2 sets of like this pale red, or the yellow. I could use the golden color. And the rest is gold. Okay. Let's see, what about these? Do I have enough of these? 1, 2. Ooh, 3, 4. I got 4 reds and 1 green. I might do that. I could do red, green, red, and make the last 2 yellow. I could do that. Or red, yellow, red, and then make the last 2 green. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I have enough of these. Let's see. 2, 3. No, I only have 3.5 weeks worth, so I don't have enough of that. Okay, so it's either rotating the colors here, or I might use these clear ones, especially since I have so much of the red. Or I might just do 4 reds and make the last 2 days green. I might just do that, since I have so much of the red. Yeah, let's do that. Since it's Christmas season, let's go for it. Okay, so now let's see what numbers. Let's see, I had, what did I say? I have these ones I can go and use for this. But let me check this and see if I have anything I like better on this side. in terms of numbers. See if they have any red or green numbers. Gold. It's got like these yellow, pink watercolor ones. Hearts, red hearts, suns. It's like green to gold to orange. It's kind of like autumn colors though. We've got just these black ones. That could work. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna go with this one. This one doesn't really have anything festive in it. So I'm gonna use these to date, and then I'll just make the last two green, I think. And then I'm gonna use the numbers, the square numbers that I had in red back here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start dating, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, everyone, so I just finished dating everything, so let me show you what it looks like. So as I said, I started out with the 4 weeks worth of red that I had. That looks really good. And I decided not to go with the dark green because by the time I got to the last page, it just looked too stark of a contrast. So I decided to go with the pink instead because it looked like it was the closest to red. The dark green just was so dark compared to these paler pastel colors, and I just decided it just was too much of a contrast. So I decided to go with the pink because I just felt like it was a pretty close transition between the red and this one, and I just felt like that looked a little bit better. So I used that for the last 3 days, and these ended up not being squares. They ended up being little flags, which I thought was kind of cute, so I like that even better. So that kind of worked out. So that's what the numbers and days of the week is looking like. Again, predominantly red, and then the last 3 days are pink. And again, I did that because the green just was, when I was looking at it and putting it down, it just was way too dark. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clip this side so that this side will stop popping up. And maybe I'll do it like this. And then I have this side to work with and to decorate. So let's start working on adding some items to our Dutch doors. I definitely want to use some of these little gumdrops because I think they're so cute. So I think I'll put it on this next to last one, where these are the gumdrops from kind of like an aerial view, like the top of the gingerbread house. So I think that makes the most sense. So let's maybe have red showing on one side and maybe like the orange on the other. So we can do it maybe red, and then, excuse me, green, and then red right there. And then maybe this lime green on the front. Kind of rotating between the two, like cascading down like that. I think that's kind of cute. And I might even fit maybe one more at the bottom. Let's see, how many do I have? Yeah, okay, yeah, I have enough. So I could do maybe this darker orange color. That's the closest one to red. And just cut it off. Or should I just do the 3? Maybe I'll just do the 3, that way I can still see some of that. And then I think I'll put this dark orange down here. And just need to lift up Sunday so I can put it on top of this. I think that works. And then maybe this one up here. And I don't have to move anything for that one. And then let's do maybe this lilac color for the middle one. And this one cut a little weird, so I'm just cut off this little edge there. And I might have to lift up Saturday, but we'll see. Yeah, I will. And I might have to shift it over slightly. Yeah, so that I can read it all. I'm just going to move it over just a tad, again, just so I can read it. And so maybe I'll do that with this too, just so it's not going into the gummy. Okay, so I put those back. I'm gonna get my bone folder, then kind of just smooth it down. Okay, that looks good. I love that. So we've got that there. So let's see. What do we want to do on this one? This one is just the icing. I might do nothing to the icing, and maybe let's do the peppermints on this one. So I've got one of the peppermint candies and then maybe just a regular candy or maybe the candy cane. Let's see. Or maybe I'll do 2 of the candy canes and then the peppermint candy in the middle. Let's see what that looks like. Because these are skinny, so I need to be careful not to. Let's see. These cut a little weird, so hopefully I can make these work. I think that I can. I think I might put it in between. Like that. And then put this one like this. And I gotta move Sunday on this side. This is so small. Hopefully I can line this up. And then we can put Sunday back. Okay, so maybe let's get the other one and maybe have the green going on the front side this time. See, is that gonna look weird? Maybe I should have it. Like this. That way you can see that it's a candy cane. And then join it back with the red one on this side. I can do my best to get this lined up. Okay, so we have those 2, and let's see. Let's add in maybe that 1 peppermint. Or should I just leave it like that? I think I might add maybe 1. Kind of want to be in the middle here. Might cut off this offset. I think I'll do the red one, even though it's right there, because either way it's going to be next to one. Or maybe I should do this one since the green is slightly darker. Maybe I'll do that. Just got to put it halfway. Okay, so we got the peppermints there. And the gumdrops, and so far just the icing there. I'm not sure if I want to add anything there yet. I might, but we'll see. Let's see. I definitely want to add something here. So this is the cookie one. Maybe I can add, let's see. Can't remember if I mirrored these, but they're similar in shape. So I think even if they're not mirrored, they should be fine. So I think I cut this one out with my gyro cut. So what I might do is put it down and then use my gyro cut to kind of go clean up the edges. Or should I do that first? Just so I don't have quite as much white space. All right, let's see. Let's do it like this so I can see how close they are. I mean, they're pretty close. It's close. I think I can do it. Okay. Let's maybe have him right here. Bring it over slightly so I can see some of the icing. About right there. And then do my best to line this up. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty close because they're similar shapes. And I can just, I have to cut off part of his leg again because it goes over by about about an eighth of an inch. So I don't have any large pieces going over. All right, let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm just going to clean up this one inner edge on the front. There we go. Okay, that works. Let's see if I have another one maybe I can put down here. Let's see. I don't know if I could do these mugs because they're similar in height. Oh, I have these ones too. Again, they're not mirrored, but because they're similar in shape, I feel like I can make it work like I made this work. Yeah, I think I might try. Let's see. I'll kind of do the same thing and put them on top of each other, sticky side facing out, just so I can kind of get a sense of how big each one is. Okay, this is the smaller one. So I won't do a tight cut on this one, but I will do a tight, fussy cut on this one because it's bigger. So let's trim this guy up. Okay, so let's put this guy down here. And I'll do this one at a slight angle. And then put this one on the other side. And just trim up the parts that go significantly over. And so I might trim off some of the other one, but it could just be like a broken gingerbread. You know what I mean? Since they're cookies, doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, okay, I think that works. So I got the 2 gingerbread men at the top here. And I have the 2 candy canes and the candy there. I have just the icing here and the gumdrops there. So let's decide what we want to put here. Let's see. Okay. I know I mirrored these lollipops, so maybe I'll put some of the lollipops. Maybe in between like this. Clean up this one edge here. Okay, so we got that one there, and then maybe do another one. about right there. And it looks like part of that cut weird, but I think I can join it back together. And I don't have to move anything, so that works. And then let's see if I can put that small little piece I didn't cut. Oh, it didn't cut at all. Okay, I thought I didn't cut all the way, but it didn't cut at all. So let me... Almost lost it. It's small, so hopefully I can put it back in here. It's a little triangle that tore. Just kind of smush it back down and blend it out. Ooh, thankfully that worked. Okay, that worked pretty well. Okay, so we've got the lollipops there, candy canes, gingerbread man, and the gumdrops. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I think we're done with the Dutch doors. Now we can go in and just decorate and fill in some of the spaces. Okay, so I want to try to add something over here. So I have a couple more gingerbread men. So maybe I'll make this the gingerbread men page and women, because I have this cute little girl here. So maybe I'll cut one like this and then have her in the middle of Monday. Maybe have this guy in the middle here. There we go. Just make sure that's down all the way. And do I have any more? Yeah, I've got a couple of mugs with gingerbread men. Use those. Let me put this down here at the bottom. Actually, it should be like this. Okay. And then I have this one holding a candy cane and this other cute one with peppermints. I might put that on the peppermint one. Well, actually, both of these have peppermint, so maybe I'll save that for the other one. Let's see. And I have... Okay, I have these two mugs. Definitely want to use this one. So I think I'll put it mostly on the left side because I have more space there. And I want to be able to read it. Let's see. We already got that there, so yeah, let me put it over here. Like this. And then I'll just kind of bend it over and into the spine and then smooth it down. That way I'll be able to turn the page. Here we go. Okay. I feel like I need like maybe one more here since I have those two. Since I have a star cookie, maybe I'll put one of these over here. Cut it flush so I can put it close to the spine on Saturday on this side. Okay, I think that looks good. So I think that page is done. That's cute. And so we got the gingerbread page that goes with the gingerbread men over here. Okay, so now we have the peppermints. I do have these bows, which I think are cute. I might save that for the last page, though. I might make the last page like presents and bows. I think that would be cute. So let's see. Peppermint. I have... Let me pull everything that's peppermint oriented. I got the candy canes. I got this little gingerbread man holding a candy cane and this nutcracker holding a candy cane. So let's get him first since he's different. And maybe have him sitting on one of the days of the week. Have him sitting on Monday. And I'm going to cut the part that goes past the line here. And I got to keep most of the candy cane, which is great. And that's mostly on Sunday, which is why I did that, since I don't usually write a huge amount on Sunday. On Saturday or Sunday, usually I just write what I did, if I did anything, or how I'm feeling, that type of thing. Let's see. Let's use this one. Like this candy cane with the greenery. Maybe put that over here. Maybe above Friday. And maybe the gingerbread holding the candy. The little peppermint. And I'll put him in the middle. Cut off some of this offset. I might just put him like this. So I don't have to put him in the spine. And I can just write around him. I think I might do that. Because that still leaves me a decent amount of space. So I think that works. Let's see. I could add something right here. This gingerbread holding the other candy cane. Have him sitting on Thursday. But then it's kind of like in a line, so maybe I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. Okay. Change my mind. And I also have this green candy cane. I think I might add this one so I can add a little bit more green on this page. And maybe have it coming upward like this. There we go. That way it just adds a little bit more green across the page. All right, I think that page is done. All right, now we have this lollipop page. So let's maybe add some jars of candy. So I think I'll have this one sitting on Sunday. Or sitting on Monday, so it'll go into Sunday. Let's see. Don't really want to cut that off, so maybe we'll do Sunday. Because that's Saturday, so I think that still works. Let's maybe add another candy cane. Maybe it's one with silver and the bow. Maybe I'll put this one maybe halfway on the page. Ooh, that looks cute. Okay, I like that. And then maybe this mug with the candy cane. It's like a peppermint mocha. Let's put this down on Monday. Right here. And then maybe something right here. I have this guy still. Or, let's see, where's a little piece of the candy? I might add a couple pieces of these. Since this is the candy page after all, put a little piece there. Or maybe, let's see, if I did it Oh, no, don't tear. I'm trying to do it at an angle. Nope, it's tearing. I will leave it there. I'll make a little cluster coming up toward the lollipop. And that way I still have all this space to write for Thursday. And then maybe put a piece of candy over there. At an angle going off the page. And then I have this other piece. Let's see if we can use it. Maybe put this one down here. Let's see. Actually, I think I want to do it like this. Okay, so it's cut this little sliver that goes past the bottom. And then get this one at the top. Okay, I like the way that looks up top, and I was able to use that entire rest of that sheet of stickers, which is great. Okay, let's look and see what we have left. Okay, so we have the gumdrops and the other side of the lollipops. So let's add some more, maybe some gumdrops on this side. Maybe do purple. Well, let's do purple up here since we have purple right there. And then do this teal color like this. That way it kind of mirrors that side, even though it's not part of the Dutch door. I think that looks kind of cool. And then we can do, let's see, maybe one of the gingerbread houses at the bottom. Since it's going to be mostly on, and I'll put it mostly on Sunday. That fills in that space. Love that. I think that's pretty much done. Maybe a little bit of something over here. So maybe a gumdrop coming like this, and then maybe one up top here. Grab my scissors and trim this. And I might even put the rest of this down here. Since it's got that 3D effect to it, don't want to waste it. And just a little bit that goes past the edge. Okay, so we have that, and I might even use part of this one. Again, just to kind of fill in this area here. And maybe put that little bit there, or get closer to that one. Let's see. Need as much of it as I can, if I can. If it looks weird, I can always peel it up. I mean, that looks okay. I think that's fine. Okay, so we have that kind of going all the way across and kind of continuing up there. I think that looks good. I think this page might be done. I might add a couple of pieces of candy, like maybe one in this corner here. just because I have it. In fact, maybe I'll do like this. Again, so I can keep most of it. Okay, so we have that piece of candy there. And let's see, maybe try to add this one somewhere. Maybe not. You know what? No, I don't think it needs it. I don't think I will put this back. Okay, I think this page might be done. Okay, let's go with this one. Okay, the one with the icing. So, let's see. Let's add the different little sweet treats. Need to cut off some of the offset. Top and bottom, just so it won't go past the page. Or into this Tuesday. That way I can do it like this. But I don't want to lose this hat. There we go. And I got to lift up Tuesday slightly, because I lowered it so it wouldn't go past the page. And move it over just a hair. Okay, so just slide this over just a bit. There we go. All right, so we got that. Maybe a little ice cream cone. Down here. And maybe do an opposite angle. So it doesn't look exactly like that. Okay, that looks cute. So we got those two guys down. And we got this little reindeer marshmallow with chocolate. So maybe put him in the middle. And just have him on the side here, where Saturday is. And I think I'm going to put a gingerbread house right here on Wednesday. And just cut it flush so I can bring it all the way up. And let me cut the bottom. Bring it as close to this line in the bottom as I can. And I still have all of this room to write for Wednesday. Let's see, maybe throw in some cookies. I love a good window cookie. And put this one here, and maybe I'll cut this flush so again I can bring it up against this edge. Trim the top of this so it won't go past that. Okay, we got a Christmas tree cookie. I'll put it on this side. And maybe this little mitten cookie. Over here. And just, again, I cut it at an angle so I can put it right up against this. My bone folder and just kind of smooth that out. There we go. And maybe something small right here. Let's see. What other sweet treats do I have? I forgot to use these guys. I kind of wanted to use them. I might peel this up and put one of them down. think I might peel this up because I like that better and it has the 3D pops of color on it. And I can just save this for something else. Then I can add 1 or 2 of these. I think I'm gonna raise this if I can. If it lets me, kind of trying to use my blade to kind of get underneath the sticker and then peel it up slowly and see if it lets me lift it. Ooh, it doesn't want me to. I don't know if I can. Ooh, it's tearing. Okay, I don't think that I'll be able to lift that. In fact, I'm gonna get my gyro cut and cut off the part that thankfully it's just the offset. The part that I tore. It is down pretty good. Let's see. I want to try to get 1 more in here. I could do it like this. Maybe have this peeking through on the side here. I think I will. I might even do 1 right there because I have 1 more that's decorated. That way I get to use them. And just cut off the part that goes past the page. That way you just have a little peek of it, and then when you open it, you see the different cookies and sweet treats lined up over here. I think that looks cute. Okay, I might add 1 more item over here if I can find something small. Let's see. I've got some snowflake cookies. That might work. Or this cupcake. Let's see, do I want to do a cupcake or... Oh, I've got this melted snowman cookie. I think I'll use that. Because that is really cute. I mean, it's going to take up quite a bit of Wednesday, but I still have enough, I think, to write a good 3-4 sentences. So I think I might do it. I'll just bring it down slightly so I don't take up all of the room. And trim this off. There we go. Because it's just so adorable. And I kind of want to put something there. Maybe just a star cookie and just have it peeking on the page, but not all the way. Let's see. Maybe like this, close to this snowman cone. Yeah, I think that looks good. And again, kind of just fills in that space. And I might even take one of these other cookies and kind of do the same thing. Again, just to kind of fill in that area at the bottom and create a little border. And I think I might use the rest of this up here. Just have a tiny little bit to trim. That kind of just rounds out that corner there. I like that. I think that looks really good. All right, I'm clean up and then we'll take a look and see where we are. All right, you guys, so the only thing I have left is this extra sticker strip that I created and a few sheets of stickers. So I was able to use quite a bit of what I created, so I'm happy about that. So let's go ahead and do a flip through. So this is the December cover page. That's the first page. And then it goes into the waterfall tabs. The peppermints, the candy page, the gumdrops, and the cookies. And then in reverse, all right, so now we can add my journaling cards. So let's get those tucked in. So now I can just write some of the little sweet moments that I experienced for each week in December and just have a little sweet memory to refer back to in future years. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay inspired, and thank you for watching.